Welcome to Camp Chickapoo. It got its name because this was originally where our one flock of chickens lived during the summers, and then in the winter they would go back down to the warmer barn. This year they're going to stay up here for the winter because we have a new flock that is living in the barn and we don't want to mix them up. We have two roosters now, inadvertently, and so they would fight, and I don't want the new flock to pick up all the bad habits of this flock, like eating their own eggs and annoying things like that. So this is created by putting up two 100-foot lengths of this non-climb horse fence. It's a fairly rigid fence, and we just pounded in these sucker rods. They're kind of like a wimpy rebar. Every 6 to 10 feet, and it can be moved easily, not super easily, but we have moved it several times. Just takes a few people. So if we ever want to move it again, it's not a huge deal. What we do in here is we dump a lot of manure and some grass clippings, and the chickens go through it, and as a result they've created some super rich soil in here. So it's a great way to get rid of manure, or if you have a lot of excess organic matter that you need to process. That's a pear tree, I believe. There's a little apple tree. We've got some peach trees in here. These are dwarf trees, so we can kind of crowd them in here, and they're not going to be too big for the space. There's a full-size apple tree right there, and we've also got a hazelnut and a couple clumps of banana plants here. You can see the bananas just love it in here, creating an enormous amount of biomass and some nice shade. And then in the winter we just chop them down, pile all the detritus on top of the stumps for insulation. I usually try to put some leaves on top too. We haven't had super bad winters, so the bananas are thriving. And what we've got here was originally designed as a chicken tractor, a mobile chicken pen to be moved daily, but that proved to be just a little bit too much work. If you farm full-time and you're around, it's not such a big deal to move it every day. But if you work off farm and your time is limited, it's a little bit much. Plus I found that moving it daily wasn't really enough. The chickens would get bored and just be pacing along the perimeter of the inside as if they really wanted to get out. It's just not enough space in there. I like the chicken tractor idea. It's great if you're building bigger tractors for production, and they're only in there for a little while till they get butchered. But in our case, it doesn't work out the greatest. But this works great. So what we can do is, if we ever have to pick up and move this entire thing, we can do it, which I will probably do someday. Then we can start building fertility in another part of the orchard. So we've got a lot of weeds coming up in here, but it's not an issue. In fact, it's good. It provides a lot of hiding places and little nooks and crannies and good chicken habitat. It's not a huge space. We've got about 11 chickens in here, but because there's so much cover, there's so much vegetation, it provides a great habitat for them. I'm also trying to get some berries established in here. I need to get them out of our main garden because they take up too much space. So growing them between the fruit trees and the bananas seems like a good idea. So we'll see how that works. And that is Camp Chickapoo. And next time I will give you a little tour of the other, the barn area where the other chickens live.